it's a very good question, and there are many different levels of interpretation of that question, which on the one hand, the Western diet and Western lifestyle has somewhat resulted in an epidemic of poor health based upon just overconsumption of certain types of food, relative lack of physical activity, and very high stress levels. All those factors together have created a nation where the majority of adults are overweight, and even 30% of the adults are obese, and all the way to 15% of adults are having blood sugar issues going into so-called adult onset diabetes, which has a very profound detrimental impact on health, well-being, and quality of life. So that's one side of the equation, sort of the general global view and all the health complications that go along with relative degrees of being overweight and underactivity and stress. On the other hand, from a more esoteric standpoint, there are shifts in what can be described as the magnetic couch for biology. And as you know, the Earth has a magnetic field, it has a polarity, it has an oscillation frequency, and as part of the changes of approaching the 2012 landmark, there's been a shift in the magnetic field in such a way that it supports a much higher level of health, longevity, well-being, vitality, and the ability to self-heal and self-regenerate. So it's really an issue of finding the balance point and really, in a sense, giving the bridge from what has been a challenge of Western society living, particularly in America, although it's true of other developed and even developing countries, these particular issues with relative degrees of overweight, inactivity, stressful lifestyles, toxic environments, and so forth. And that with a bridge into a type of awareness, not just about health and body composition, but also a bridge to literal awareness itself, opening channels of perception, being more aware, not just tuning into the body and what it needs for optimum health, but also tuning in more broadly to being able to perceive more of the reality, that crossing that bridge into an awareness state can expedite and accelerate not only the ability to reshape the body, to create a much more healthful balance point, but to go beyond just a state of health being defined as a relative absence of disease, to really begin to approach what I would consider to be high degrees of health, high degrees of well-being, and even enhancement of the basic human potential. So it's quite a spectrum, and 2012 has been associated with a specter as typified by the understanding of the Mayan calendar, ostensibly ending on the date 12/21/12, December 21st, 2012, and all sorts of interpretations of that. Two other interpretations that go back even some decades, that it's a shift point to enlightened civilization with not only better general health, but the opportunity to have not just longevity, but extremes of longevity. And there are already books out in the market written by credible scientists, particularly Henri de Grey, called Ending Aging, where the back cover makes a bold statement: people reading this book today may live to be 1,000 years old.